Guys, please do subscribe to our channel and support us. You know that moment when your entire day has been loud, messages, deadlines, people needing things from you, and then suddenly, everything goes quiet. Not because the world stopped, but because something small changed your state. Maybe it's when your cat finally settles next to you. No noise, no expectations, no pressure to respond, just presence. And without realizing it, your breathing slows, your shoulders drop, your mind finally stops racing. If you've ever felt that, then this video is going to make something click for you. Because what you're feeling in that moment is not just comfort, it's regulation. And the fact that you feel it so deeply, that says something about how your mind works. Because here's something most people misunderstand. Being a cat person isn't really about preference. It's about your nervous system. It's about what your brain needs to feel safe. Now think about the difference. Some people feel energized around noise. They like constant interaction, movement, conversation. They feed off it. But for others, that same environment feels overwhelming. Too much input, too many signals, too many expectations at once. And instead of feeling energized, they feel drained. And if you're one of those people, you've probably felt this before. Being around others, but still needing to retreat afterward. Not because you don't like people, but because your system needs quiet to reset. Now here's where it gets interesting. The kind of comfort you feel with a cat is very different from most human interactions. Because with people, there's always something implied. Respond, react, engage. Even silence can feel like pressure, like you're supposed to say something, do something, be something. But with a cat, none of that exists. They don't demand your attention. They don't expect emotional performance. They don't need you to match their energy. They just exist and invite you to do the same. And for a nervous system that's constantly scanning, constantly adjusting, constantly aware of everything around it, that's rare. That's relief. Now let's go a layer deeper. Because this isn't just about calm. It's about boundaries. A cat doesn't assume access to you. It doesn't force affection. It chooses when to come close. And when it leaves, it doesn't explain itself. It doesn't apologize. It just goes. And that dynamic, it creates something most people don't even realize they need. Connection, without pressure. Because you're not managing anything. You're not trying to keep the interaction going. You're not thinking, am I doing this right? You're just there. And that kind of connection, it feels safe in a way that's hard to describe. Especially if you're someone who spends a lot of time reading the room, adjusting your behavior, making sure everyone else is okay. Because when that's your normal, any space without expectation feels like freedom. Now here's something even more fascinating. Your body responds to this before your mind even understands it. There's a reason why certain sounds, certain rhythms, instantly calm you down. Your brain is wired to detect safety signals. And when it finds one, everything slows. Your breathing, your heart rate, your thoughts. And that's exactly what's happening in those quiet moments. It's not just relaxation. It's your nervous system finally realizing, I don't have to be on right now. And when your body finally realizes it doesn't have to be on, something else happens. You start to feel like yourself again. Not the version of you that's constantly responding. Not the version that's adjusting, explaining, managing. Just you. And that's more important than most people realize. Because a lot of people don't actually live in that state very often. They live in reaction, in performance, in constant low-level alertness. So when they experience true stillness, it feels unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. But for people who are drawn to quiet, calm presence, that stillness doesn't feel empty. It feels right. It feels like home. Now let's talk about something deeper. The way you connect. Because if you relate to this, there's a good chance you don't crave loud, constant interaction. You crave something more subtle, something slower, something that doesn't demand anything from you. And that's exactly why certain types of connections feel exhausting. Not because they're bad, but because they require energy you don't always have. Fast conversations, high expectations, constant emotional exchange. It's a lot, and over time, it can feel like you're always on stage, always responding, always giving something back. But what if connection didn't have to feel like that? What if it could be quiet, unforced, present without pressure? Because that's the kind of connection your nervous system is actually drawn to. Now here's something that might surprise you. People who prefer this kind of calm are often deeply observant. They notice small details others miss, subtle shifts in tone, body language, energy in a room. They pick up on things that aren't being said. And while that awareness can be a strength, it can also be overwhelming because you're constantly processing more than most people realize. And when your brain is always taking in that much information, you need somewhere to put it down, somewhere to rest, somewhere where you don't have to think so much. And that's what those quiet moments give you. They don't add more input. They don't demand more energy. They simply allow your system to settle. Now let's talk about something people often misunderstand. Preference for quiet is not the same as disconnection. It doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you don't want relationships. It means you want them in a way that feels natural to you, without pressure, without performance, without constantly proving something. And that's a different kind of depth. Now here's something else that matters: the way you give and receive care. Because if you're someone who finds comfort in calm, low-demand connection, you might also find it easier to give care than to receive it. You show up for others. You listen. You support. But when it comes to your own needs, you hesitate. Because receiving attention can feel like pressure, like something you have to respond to, like something you might not know how to handle. So instead, you stay in the role of the one who gives, because it feels safer. But here's the truth. You deserve the same kind of calm, non-demanding care that you give to others. The kind that doesn't expect anything back. The kind that simply exists. Now let's bring this all together. If you're someone who finds peace in quiet presence, who feels overwhelmed by constant stimulation, who connects more deeply in stillness than in noise, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not distant. You're not antisocial. You're not too quiet. You're just wired differently. Your nervous system isn't looking for intensity. It's looking for balance, for safety, for space to exist without pressure. And once you understand that, everything starts to make more sense. The way you choose people, the way you spend your time, the way you recharge. It's not random. It's alignment. Because at the end of the day, we're all trying to feel okay in our own minds. And sometimes, the most powerful thing isn't excitement. It's calm. It's being able to sit in a moment and not feel like you have to change anything about it. And if you found that, even in something as simple as quiet companionship, that's not small. That's something your mind has been searching for all along. If this video made you feel understood, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, do you feel more at peace in quiet moments or in high-energy environments? Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching.